Hi, welcome to my home and week number 2, appetizers. I'm Christine Pender and today I'm making spicy crab cakes with the lemon cream aioli. So let's get started. We always start with clean hands. Alright, I love crab cakes. They are awesome. My husband took me away for a week to Santa Barbara, California. It was so fun, by the ocean. It was great because I love seafood. We stayed at a 5-star hotel and we went down Main Street and found a fantastic restaurant that made great crab cakes. So these are my version of them. So let's get started with cream cheese aioli. Actually, my husband and I were talking about how much we love regular aioli, but it is really oily with using only mayo. I love it, but I thought it would be just as nice and creamier using cream cheese. And you know what? We were right. So if you want to even get healthier, use fat-free if you want. So I've mixed here a half a cup of Philadelphia chive and onion cream cheese that has been softened, an 1/8 of a cup of mayo, 1 clove of garlic that has been minced, 1/2 teaspoon Old Bay seasoning, 2 tablespoons fresh lemon juice, and 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon pepper, and that is to taste. So you want to mix all your ingredients together until they're nice and smooth. We want to be sure and taste them. Make sure that it is to your liking. This is absolutely perfect. So we're going to set this aside. So let's get started on our crab cakes. So here I have a 1/2 cup of the Philadelphia chive and onion cream cheese. Now, we're being very thrifty because we are using the entire container, nothing left over. To that, I'm going to add a pound of crab meat. Now, remember to look for those loose shells and be sure and pick them out. To that, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of Asian chili sauce. I like sriracha. We have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. Now, I like things spicy. If you don't like them as spicy, cut it down to a teaspoon, half of whatever you want. It won't hurt a thing. These are for you to like and to your tasting. I'm going to also add a 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs. And we're going to bind it all with 1 beaten egg. So my husband and my son went sailing on our boat from San Francisco to Santa Barbara, and they hit a storm that was coming in much sooner than anticipated, than anyone had expected. So I had to drive from San Francisco down to Santa Barbara to get them because they couldn't come home on the boat. I bribed my husband. I told them if he would take me to dinner for crab cakes at our favorite little restaurant that we had found, I would come and get him. And not for appetizer, but for a dinner. And he did. But don't tell him. I would have picked him up anyway. I love him that dang much. Now we have it all incorporated. We are going to cover this and put the mixture in the fridge for 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes are up. I have here 3/4 cup of the panko breadcrumbs in this dish. We see our mixture is all ready to go. I'm going to heat up a 1/4 cup of canola oil in a skillet on medium heat. So, medium, there we go. Now we're going to work in batches. I'm going to use a scoop. This is to make sure that they're all formed to the same consistency, to the same size. We're using them as appetizers. So we're going to scoop them up. And we're going to make them to about 1.5 inches around. We're going to lay them in the panko crumbs. We're going to flip them over to the other side. And we're going to lay them on the plate. So let me go ahead and finish the rest of our crab cakes. Be very careful. The crab cakes are very fragile. If you feel like they're falling apart more than they're staying together, pop them back in the fridge for just a little bit. So our pan is all nice and hot. We're going to put it in. We're going to cook these for about 1 minute on each side. You want to be sure not to crowd the pan too much. They're coming to a crisp really fast, really easy. Flip them over. That one's getting away from me. Look how nice and brown and toasty they're looking. It doesn't take very long for them to cook. Okay, as these are coming out, you want to be sure and drain them on a nice paper towel. And like I said, we are working in batches. We have them now on our serving tray. We're putting a little bit of aioli on. We're adding a little dollop. It's taking a long time to go out there. We've also garnished our crab cakes with a little bit of sliced onions. Great for presentation, adding a little bit more taste. I love these because they have a spicy kick to them, and also the panko breadcrumbs give them a nice crunch. So thanks for visiting, y'all, and I hope these appetizers become one of your family favorites as well. See you next week for a spectacular entree.